CQ calling all radio amateurs and listeners. This is Golf Bravo 2 Romeo Sierra, the news broadcasting service of the Radio Society of Great Britain. This broadcast comes to you from amateur radio station Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Mappishall, Bedfordshire. Welcome and thank you for joining us. It's Sunday the 9th of June and here is the GB2RS news broadcast prepared for you by the RSGB and available to all radio amateurs and listeners. You can also find this news broadcast on the RSGB website at rsgb.org, along with links to groups and organisations that may be mentioned in this broadcast. Today's news headlines: TX Factor marks its 10-year anniversary with its 30th episode. The 4-year planning rule in England is changing. And Bath-based distance learning's next full licence course starts soon. We'll have more on those later, but first, TX Factor marks its 10-year anniversary with its 30th episode. It looks at how radio technology has advanced since Marconi's transmissions, and the episode has the first of a two-part feature on the QO100 satellite. It looks at the hardware and software needed for your first contact, and Bob, Golf Zero Foxtrot Golf X-Ray, reviews the FTM 500D. That's the new mobile transceiver from Yaesu, and he reveals the features of this versatile FM and digital rig. There's also a visit to Sidmouth Amateur Radio Society, which successfully bid for a derelict former sports social club from the local council and has now turned it into a community hub and the club's new headquarters. You can watch this interesting episode and take part in the TX Factor free draw with a chance to win 3 RSGB publications. To find out more, see the TX Factor website, which is txfactor.co.uk. Now, the 4-year planning rule gave some protection for antennas and masts that were erected without planning permission. Installations which had been in place unchanged for 4 years or more were protected against planning enforcement action. Now, from the 25th of April 2024, this rule ended in England, and that's due to the Levelling Up and Regeneration Act 2023. There's now a 10-year period for the exemption from enforcement for residential dwellings. This change does not affect Wales, Scotland or Northern Ireland, where the 4-year rule still applies. Any installation completed before the introduction of the Act will still be subject to the 4-year rule, so for most radio amateurs the 10-year rule won't apply until the 24th of April 2028. And you can find more details on these changes at the RSGB website, which is rsgb.org/planning. Bath-based distance learning's next full licence course runs from August to December, with exams in January. Training's completely free, but applicants must study some pre-course material and complete a quiz to qualify. Get details and an application form from Bath-based distance learning's team leader, Steve, Golf Zero Foxtrot Uniform Whiskey. His email address is golfzerofoxtrotuniformwhiskey at bravo delta lima.org.uk. That's G0FUW at bbdl.org.uk. Now, the RSGB is asking radio amateurs to share ideas on the theme of change and adapt, and that's as part of plans for British Science Week 2025. The event is run by the British Science Association, celebrating science, technology, engineering and maths. The 2025 theme has many opportunities for creativity and discovery, and it's a chance to show young people in schools or anyone in your local community how interesting and enjoyable amateur radio can be. Send your ideas to the RSGB British Science Week coordinator, that's Ian Neal, Mike 0 Kilo Echo Oscar, and his email address is Bravo Sierra Whiskey at rsgb.org.uk, and you can read about past year's activities or next year's theme at rsgb.org/Bravo Sierra Whiskey. Now remember that you can get even more out of your RSGB membership if you recommend a friend who hasn't been an RSGB member during the last 12 months. You'll both get £10 cash back when they join and pay by direct debit. Individual RSGB members and affiliated clubs can sign up as many friends as they like, and membership gives you a range of benefits, so it's a great idea to encourage others to join. Members can read Radcom, exclusive online resources, RSGB award schemes and contests, as well as advice from the RSGB specialists. The RSGB links with Ofcom and its defence of the spectrum has strength in numbers. See the RSGB's Join a Friend webpage for the information you'll need to get the online form at rsgb.org/join-a-friend. An exhibition called What Happened Next will open on Friday the 14th of June in the Pi building at the Cambridge Museum of Technology. It explores the period after the Pi Group was bought by Philips in 1967, and it tracks their progress to today. Find details at Museum of Technology, that's all one word, museumoftechnology.com. The 2024 Gateways on the Air event is from the 15th to the 23rd of June, and it promotes an increase in RF activity via UK simplex gateways. The event is hosted by the Freestar International Network and features special event stations Golf Bravo 0 Golf Oscar Alpha and Golf Bravo 4 Golf Oscar Alpha. And you can find a list of all the confirmed simplex gateways at the event website, which is golfoscartangoalpha.org.uk. That's GOTA.org.uk. And we've got news on CDXC. The UK DX Foundation holds its annual DX convention and dinner on the 20th of July at a new venue, which is the Littlebury Hotel in Bicester. And the postcode for your sat-nav is Oscar X-Ray 266 Delta Romeo. The CDXC annual general meeting starts at 11 a.m. with a series of talks in the afternoon. And these are firstly from Mike 0 Delta X-Ray Romeo, who will speak about the WRTC 2026. Then Mike, Golf 4 Whiskey November Charlie, will cover all things to do with SDR. Nigel, Golf 3 Tango X-Ray Foxtrot, will discuss the impact of FT8 on D-expeditions. And Greg, Whiskey 6 India Zulu Tango, will describe the build and operation of his rig in a box for D-expeditions. Non-members of CDXC are welcome to come for the day and for the evening dinner. And you can find full details and booking information on the CDXC homepage, which is cdxc.org.uk. That's Charlie Delta X-Ray Charlie.org.uk. Now, do you live in the southeast of England with a spare hour on Sundays to help inform radio amateurs in your area? The GB2RS news service is looking for volunteer readers in Essex, London and the counties to the south and southeast, and that's to broadcast on the 2 metre or 70 centimetre bands using FM. We need RSGB members with full or intermediate licenses who have a good VHF or UHF station in order to help improve our coverage. Band, mode and time can be chosen to suit your needs. To find out more, contact GB2RS News Manager, that's Steve Richards, Golf 4 Hotel Papa Echo, via Golf Bravo 2 Romeo Sierra .manager@rsgb.org.uk. I'll repeat that email address. It's Golf Bravo 2 Romeo Sierra .manager@rsgb.org.uk. And there's also information on the RSGB website at rsgb.org/GB2RS schedule. And that bit's all one word, GB2RS schedule, all one word. And now a reminder to listen out for stations that will be on the air during Museums on the Air activity weekend. That runs from the 15th to the 16th. And you can find more details at the event website, which is tinyurl.com/IMW2024. That's India Mike Whiskey 2024. And now we have details of rallies and events. The Junction 28 Radio Rally will take place today the 9th at the Alfreton Sports Centre, and that's at postcode Delta Echo 557 Bravo Delta, and that's 1 mile from M1 Junction 28. The doors will open at 10:15 and admission is £4, and you can find more information at the event website, which is Sierra November Alpha Delta Alpha Romeo Charlie.com, or you can email Juliet28 Romeo Alpha Lima Lima Yankee at Sierra November Alpha Delta Alpha Romeo Charlie.com. The Mendips Radio Rally takes place today the 9th, and the event is at Farrington Gurney Memorial Hall. That's on Church Lane in Farrington Gurney, and the postcode is Bravo Sierra 396 Uniform Alpha. The doors open from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and admission is £2. There's access for traders, which will be from 7:30 a.m. Inside tables cost £8 and field pitches are £5 each. Refreshments and free car parking are available on site. For more information, you can contact Luke. His phone number is 07870 168 197, or you can email him on mendipsrally, that's all one word, at hotmail.com. The Rochdale and District Amateur Radio Summer Rally will take place on Sunday the 15th of June. That's at the St Vincent de Paul, St Vincent de Paul's Hall in Norden, Rochdale, and the postcode is Oscar Lima 127 Quebec Romeo. The doors will open at 10 a.m. with entry being £3. Traders and caterers will be present on site with plenty of free car parking. All proceeds for the event will go to a local charity, and last year the organisers donated £4,000 from rally sales and silent key donations to the Rochdale Spring Hill Hospice. For more information, you can email Dave, Golf 3 Romeo India Kilo. His email address is dave@Cardans, that's Charlie Alpha Romeo Delta Echo November Sierra, .mikeecho.uniform kilo. That's dave@cardans.me.uk. The East Sussex Wireless Revival, also known as the Ipswich Radio Rally, is on Sunday the 16th of June, and the venue is Curtin Recreation Ground. That's on Black Road in Curtin, and the postcode is India Papa 100 Papa Whiskey, just off the A14. Doors open at 9:30 a.m. and entry is £3, and the venue has free car parking and on-site catering. For more information, contact Kevin, Golf 8 Mike X-Ray Victor. His phone number is 07710 046 846, or you can visit the event website, which is Echo Sierra Whiskey Romeo.org.uk. And now we have the special event news. Celebrating the 100th anniversary of Radio Belgrade, members of the Belgrade Amateur Radio Club are active as Yankee Tango 100 Romeo Bravo and Yankee Uniform 1924 Romeo Bravo, and they're active until the 30th of November. You can find more details and information about a certificate that's available at the event website, which is Yankee Uniform 1 Alpha November Oscar .org. That's YU1ANO.org. Now news of 9 Alpha 100 Romeo Kilo Zulu, which is the special call sign celebrating the 100th anniversary of Radio Club Zagreb. That was founded on the 24th of March 1924. The call sign will be active throughout 2024, and you can find details of an award for contacting the stations on the QRZ.com page of 9 Alpha 100 Romeo Kilo Zulu. That's 9 Alpha 100 RKZ. Now we have the DX news. Dave, Whiskey Juliet 2 Oscar, is active as Victor Papa 6 Delta Foxtrot from Pitcairn Island. That's Oscar Charlie 044, that's the IOTA reference, and he'll be active until tomorrow the 10th of June. He's running low power and operating Morse code on the 40 to 10 meter bands. He may also operate on the 160 and 80 meter bands, depending on conditions. You can QSL via November 2 Zulu November and Logbook of the World. John, Whiskey 5, Juliet Oscar November, is active as Victor 47, Juliet Alpha. That's from St. Kitts Island, which is IOTA reference November Alpha 104, and he's active until the 13th of June. He'll be operating SSB and FT8 on the HF and 6 meter bands, and you can QSL via Logbook of the World or directly to Whiskey 5, Juliet Oscar November. And now we have the contest news. The IARU ATV contest started at 1200 UTC on Saturday the 8th, and it ends at 1800 UTC today, Sunday the 9th of June. Using TV on the 432 MHz and up bands, the exchange is serial number, 4-digit code and locator. And you can find more details on rules for the contest at tinyurl.com/India Alpha Romeo Uniform Alpha Tango Victor. Also today, the 9th, it's the Practical Wireless 2-meter low power contest, which runs from 0900 to 1600 UTC. Using AM, FM, SSB, CW and a maximum of 5 watts on the 2-meter band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Also today, it's the second 144 MHz Backpackers contest, and that runs from 0900 to 1300 UTC. Using all modes on the 2-meter band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Then on Monday the 10th, it's the 80-meter Club Championship, and that will run from 1900 to 2030 UTC. Using RTTY and PSK 63 on the 80-meter band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. On Tuesday the 11th, the 432 MHz FM activity contest runs from 1800 to 1855 UTC. This contest uses FM on the 70 centimeter band, and the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Also on Tuesday the 11th, it's the 432 MHz UK activity contest, and that runs from 1900 to 2130 UTC. It uses all modes on the 70 centimeter band, and the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Then on Wednesday the 12th, it's the 432 MHz FT8 activity 4-hour contest. That runs from 1700 to 2100 UTC. Using FT8 on the 70 centimeter band, the exchange is report and 4-character locator. Also on Wednesday the 12th, it's the 432 MHz FT8 activity 2-hour contest. That runs from 1900 to 2100 UTC. Again, using FT8 on the 70 centimeter band, the exchange is report and 4-character locator. And if you enter the 4-hour contest, you can also enter the 2-hour contest. On Tuesday the 13th, it's the 50 MHz UK activity contest, which runs from 1900 to 2130 UTC. Using all modes on the 6-meter band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. The 50 MHz trophy contest starts at 1400 UTC on Saturday the 15th and ends at 1400 UTC on Sunday the 16th of June. It uses all modes on the 6-meter band, and your exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. The All Asian DX contest starts at 0000 UTC on Saturday the 15th and ends at 23:59 UTC on Sunday the 16th of June. Using Morse code on the 160 to 10-meter bands, the exchange is your signal report and age. On Sunday the 16th, the Worked All Britain 6-meter phone contest runs from 0800 to 1400 UTC. Using voice on the 6-meter band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and Worked All Britain square. And you can find more information on the Worked All Britain website. And now we have the radio propagation report. This was compiled by Golf 0 Kilo Yankee Alpha, Golf 3 Yankee Lima Alpha and Golf 4 Bravo Alpha Oscar on Thursday the 6th of June. Well, it seems that we haven't had a repeat performance of the auroral conditions caused by active sunspot region 3697. For auroral watchers, that could be a disappointment, but for HF lovers, it means that the bands have been quite settled. The KP index has been at 3 and below, while the solar flux index has been above 175 all week. As a result, HF conditions have been quite good, with maximum usable frequencies over a 3,000 kilometre path being regularly over 21 MHz and often over 24 MHz. It's always a good idea to operate on the highest HF band that's open because absorption decreases the higher up in frequency you go. Meanwhile, sporadic E-propagation brought interest to the 10-metre band, with stations from all over Europe being workable for long periods. But we still have more of that, or we will have more of that in the VHF report. On the 5th of June, a filament located in the northeast quadrant of the Sun erupted. The event flung a coronal mass ejection into space that looks like it will miss the Earth. But this shows that we are still in the danger zone for major solar events, and anything could happen. Next week, NOAA predicts that the solar flux index will remain around 175, but we do expect some geomagnetic disruption today, the 9th of June, and the KP index is expected to rise to around 4. Otherwise, solar conditions are predicted to be calm next week. So if these conditions continue, this is a good time to make the most of the HF bands. And now we have the VHF and up propagation news, and this was compiled by Golf 3 Yankee Lima Alpha and Golf 4 Bravo Alpha Oscar. The weather pattern for the coming week is dominated by low pressure, and that means that there's unlikely to be any significant tropo. There'll probably be several opportunities for operators on the gigahertz bands to use rain scatter, but these showers or rain bands look to be on the move. And that means that you'll need to be pretty agile with the rotator to keep on the scattering target. Solar conditions continue to be active, so the KP index could rise high enough to produce an aurora, but that is a low probability. The early part of June is usually good for minor meteor events, and it should be worth a look for operators who use meteor scatter modes. There were several sporadic E openings earlier in the week, finishing today the 9th. Sporadic E was reported up to the 2-metre band on a few occasions, and last Sunday the 2nd it lasted up to 3 hours on the path from eastern England down to the Italian peninsula. Events start on the 10-metre band and then move up through the VHF bands of 6 metres, 4 metres and finally 2 metres as the sporadic E propagation strengthens. In this peak of the sporadic E season, the openings on the lower bands, such as 10 metres and 6 metres, can last for much of the day and into the late evening. Follow the weather patterns on the daily sporadic E blog on propquest.co.uk and you should be able to point in the right direction for an opening. Multi-hop paths to the Far East or the Americas do need a good antenna, like a beam, but for single-hop European sporadic E propagation, which can be very strong, any antenna will do the job. Moon declination is at its maximum this weekend for the Dubus 10 and 24 GHz EME contest, but EME path loss is rising. 144 MHz sky noise is low all week. And that's all from the propagation team this week. And that ends this week's GB2RS News broadcast, which was brought to you by Graham, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Meppershall, Bedfordshire. The news was compiled by the Radio Society of Great Britain, who represent amateur radio and radio amateurs within the United Kingdom and internationally. If you have a news item to share, please email it to us as far in advance as possible to radcom@rsgb.org.uk. That will then be included in the GB2RS news broadcast, Radcom magazine and the RSGB website. The RSGB will retain the copyright over the material transmitted. You can find more information about amateur radio on our website, which is rsgb.org. And you can also download the full schedule of GB2RS broadcasts from rsgb.org/GB2RS schedule. GB2RS isn't licensed for two-way traffic, but I'll be pleased to take your calls and any reports or queries using my call sign Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta. So we wish you 73 from the GB2RS news team, hoping you have a lovely Sunday and a great week ahead. This is Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta, now listening for any calls.